Hey everyone, welcome to a deep dive that I think you're going to find pretty fascinating. We were going through the AI newsletters, and honestly, I was blown away by some of this stuff. So, we're going to really unpack how these newsletters are using AI in some seriously smart ways. And I think by the end of this, you'll have picked up at least a few tips and tricks that you can use yourself, whether you're already subscribing to a bunch of these things or thinking of maybe starting your own.
Yeah, the whole AI newsletter scene is just exploding right now.
Yeah.
And it's not just, a fad or anything. I think it shows how much people really need to understand this stuff.
Yeah.
How AI is changing literally everything.
Right. It's like AI is impacting our jobs, that tech we use every day, even how we get our news. So where do you even begin to figure it all out?
Right.
It's no wonder these newsletters are becoming so popular. In fact, the pasted text document mentions a few that have gotten huge, like hundreds of thousands of subscribers.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. Like the Rundown, for example. They're all about daily AI updates. And they've already pulled in, get this, over 600,000 subscribers since they launched in 2023. That tells you something right there.
600,000. Seriously. And there's another one, Superhuman. They're all about helping you use AI in your career. And they've got something like 650,000 subscribers. Clearly, people aren't just, curious about AI anymore. They want to know how to actually use it to their advantage.
Absolutely, yeah. And then you've got TLDR AI, which is known for taking all that really complex AI news and research and making it super easy to understand. They've hit 500,000 subscribers, which tells me people are looking for ways to stay informed without needing like a PhD in computer science.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like AI is super complicated. The news cycle's going a mile a minute. So these newsletters are kind of fill in the gap. They're making AI understandable for the rest of us,
Exactly, yeah. They give you that curated, easy to digest entry point into this whole world of AI. And they're not just about the news and research either. Mindstream, for instance. They started with 130,000 subscribers. And they focus on the more practical side of AI, like new tools, tutorials, how to actually use this stuff.
It's like a one-stop shop for all things AI. So, okay, we've got all these different newsletters, all successful in their own way, all kind of targeting different niches. But what's the secret to their success? Just delivering information isn't enough these days, right?
You're hitting on a really important point there. It's the strategy behind the content that makes these newsletters stand out. They're not just throwing information out there. They're laser focused on their audience. And they're using data to make sure they're delivering what people actually want.
Oh, so they're not just guessing what people want to read. They're actually using data to figure it out.
Exactly. They're using things like analytics, surveys, engagement metrics, all that good stuff to understand what really resonates with their readers. So some might focus on breaking news, others on in-depth analysis, and some, like the Neuron, with its 425,000 subscribers, they actually use humor to make these complex topics more approachable.
So it's kind of like they're creating a custom news feed for each subscriber, but it's curated by experts. Okay, I'm hooked. Tell me more about how they actually use this data to craft their content. Like, what are we talking about specifically?
All right, well, let's take the Rundown as an example. They've done a phenomenal job of understanding their audience. Their readers are mainly professionals who need to stay updated on all the latest AI trends, but they're also busy people who don't have a ton of time.
Okay, so they know their audience is time-pressed. How does that shape their content strategy?
It influences everything. From the format of their content to how often they send it out. They stick to these really concise, easy to digest summaries delivered daily. So their readers can get their AI fix in just a few minutes.
So it's all about respecting the reader's time. No long-winded articles, just the key info delivered consistently. That's pretty smart. But is that where AI comes in? Is AI helping them create this super efficient content?
You're exactly right. AI is playing a more and more central role, not just in analyzing the data, but also in shaping the content itself. It's becoming a key tool for these newsletters, and the Rundown is a perfect example of that.
Okay, now we're getting to the good stuff. The pasted text you sent over mentioned that AI is being used for things like subject lines. How does that work exactly?
It's pretty fascinating, actually. The Rundown uses AI to figure out which subject lines are most likely to grab people's attention and get them to actually open the email. The AI looks at things like the words they use, the length of the subject line, even whether they use emojis or not. And then it suggests subject lines that are designed to get the most opens.
So it's like having an AI copywriter crafting the perfect headline to make you want to click. That's pretty clever. And what about the actual content of the newsletter? Is AI involved there too?
Oh, absolutely. AI is being used in a bunch of ways to make content creation more efficient and, just better overall. For example, the Rundown uses AI to help summarize, long research papers or news articles.
I know.
This frees up their human writers to focus on adding their own analysis and insights instead of spending hours just summarizing the basics.
Wow, so it's like having an AI research assistant doing all the heavy lifting. That lets the human writers do what they do best, provide context, analysis, those aha moments that make the newsletter really valuable.
Exactly. It's a perfect example of how AI can augment human capabilities and let creators work smarter, not harder. And it's not just about summarizing information that's already out there. The rundown also uses AI to identify emerging trends in the AI world, which helps them stay ahead of the curve and deliver truly cutting-edge content to their readers.
Okay, so they're using AI to find the most interesting, most relevant information out there, and then they're using AI to summarize it efficiently. It's like they've created an AI-powered content machine. But hold on a sec, if AI is doing all this, what's left for the human writers to do?
That's a great question. It's important to remember that AI is just a tool. And like any tool, it's only as good as a person using it. In the case of the rundown, the human writers are still essential. They bring their expertise, their critical thinking skills, their ability to connect the dots in a way that AI simply can't.
I see, so it's like the AI provides the raw materials, but it's the human writers who shape those materials into a compelling and insightful narrative. They add that human touch, the context, the analysis that makes the newsletter so valuable. Okay, this is blowing my mind a little. So AI is helping them find and summarize information, but are there other ways the rundown is using AI? What about things like, I don't know, figuring out the best time to send the newsletter? Is that even a thing?
Oh, it's definitely a thing. And you guessed it, AI plays a role there too. The rundown uses AI to analyze their subscribers' behavior and determine the absolute best time to send their emails.
Hold on, they're using AI to figure out when people are most likely to open their emails. Tell me more about that.
Well, think about it. People check their inboxes at all different times. Some are early birds, some are night owls. By analyzing when their subscribers are most active, the rundown can make sure that their newsletter lands in the inbox right when it's most likely to be seen and read.
So they're basically timing their delivery for maximum impact. They're not just sending it out randomly. They're strategically choosing the moment when it's most likely to resonate.
Exactly. It's all about maximizing engagement. They want their content to be seen and read, and AI is helping them do that.
Okay, I'm starting to see how AI is like the secret weapon for these successful newsletters. They're using it at every stage, from writing the perfect subject line to sending it out at the optimal time. It's like they've cracked the code.
It's true. They really have. They figured out how to use AI to make their content better, engage their audience more effectively, and ultimately reach more people. And the rundown isn't alone. A lot of successful AI newsletters are adopting similar strategies.
So they're not just delivering information, they're building a whole experience around it. This is so much more than just email. It's about creating a community, a shared journey of discovery in the world of AI.
You're absolutely right, and that's what we'll be diving into next.
All right, can't wait.
We've been talking a lot about how these AI newsletters, like the rundown, are using AI to create this. Well, it's kind of like a content machine, right?
Yeah.
Super efficient. But it's not just about the tech. There's a human element here, too, and that's important.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, in that first part, we dug into how these newsletters are using data and AI to fine-tune their content and figure out the best way to deliver it. But the pasted text excerpts you sent, they also talked about how crucial it is to actually build a community. It's like they're not just sending out info. They're creating a space where people can connect and learn together.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really key piece of the puzzle, especially with something like AI, which is changing so fast. People want to be part of the conversation, share their thoughts, ask questions, learn from each other.
It's like those online forums where everyone geeks out about the latest AI breakthrough. But in this case, it's happening within the newsletter itself.
Exactly. And the rundown does a great job of fostering that sense of community. One way they do it is through cross-promotion. They often partner with other AI newsletters or influencers to reach new audiences and expose their readers to different perspectives.
Oh, so it's like a win-win. The other newsletter gets exposure to the Rundown's audience, and the Rundown gets to tap into a new pool of potential subscribers. Pretty smart.
It is, yeah. It's a really effective way to build those connections and broaden the reach of the AI conversation, so to speak. And it's not just cross-promotion either. The rundown also does things like giveaways and contests to generate excitement and encourage people to subscribe.
Oh, yeah. Who doesn't love a good giveaway? But I'm guessing they're not just giving away, like, random stuff. They're being strategic about it, right?
Oh, absolutely. The prizes are always super relevant to what their audience is interested in. Things like AI-powered gadgets, subscriptions to online learning platforms, stuff like that. It's a way to reward their subscribers and keep them engaged.
It's like they're saying, hey, we appreciate you being part of this. Here's something cool that you'll actually find useful. That's way better than just a random gift card.
Right. It shows they actually understand their audience and that they're invested and give them a valuable experience. And of course, social media plays a huge role too. The Rundown is really active on platforms like Twitter and LinkedIn, engaging in discussions, sharing articles, responding to comments.
So it's like they're creating this ongoing dialogue with their audience, not just talking at them, but talking with them.
That's going to be a lot of work though, right? Managing all those platforms and keeping the conversation going.
It definitely takes effort, yeah. But it's a crucial part of building a thriving community. And they're not just pushing their own content either. They're sharing articles from other sources, highlighting interesting projects.
Yeah.
Just generally fostering that sense of shared exploration.
So they're not just trying to be the loudest voice in the room. They're curating a space for the whole AI community to connect and learn together. That's pretty awesome. And I bet it helps them stay on top of all the latest trends too, right?
Absolutely. By being so involved in the online conversation, they're constantly exposed to new ideas and perspectives. It's like a feedback loop that helps them make their content even better.
Okay, I'm seeing a clear pattern here. These successful AI newsletters, they're not just about delivering information. They're building this whole ecosystem around that information. It's content, it's community, it's engagement. It's all connected. You got it. They're creating an experience that goes way beyond just reading an email. They're inviting people to be part of something bigger, to join a community of people who are all passionate about AI.
And that's what makes them so sticky, right? It's not just the information itself, it's that feeling of belonging, of being part of something exciting and important.
Exactly. It's about tapping into that human desire for connection,
Yeah.
for shared purpose.
Yeah.
And that's really powerful.
It's funny, we started this deep dive talking about all the cool ways these newsletters are using AI. And yeah, the technology is amazing, but in the end, it's the human element that really makes them special.
Couldn't agree more. AI might be the engine, so to speak.
Yeah.
But it's the human heart and mind that are steering the ship.
Okay, so let's say someone listening to this is totally inspired and wants to start their own AI newsletter. What advice would you give them based on what we've learned from the Rundown?
That's a great question. I think the first thing I'd say is really understand your audience. Who are you trying to reach? What are they looking for? What are their needs?
Right, like we talked about earlier. The Rundown knows their audience is mostly busy professionals who want concise, actionable information. They've built their whole approach around that.
Exactly. So do your research. Figure out who your ideal reader is, what they're interested in, how you can provide value to them. And don't be afraid to get specific. The more niche your focus, the better you'll be able to connect with your target audience.
So instead of trying to be everything to everyone, find your lane and own it.
Exactly. And once you've got a good grasp on your audience, think about how you can use AI to make your content better and make your life easier, frankly.
Yeah.
AI can be a huge help with things like research, summarizing, even personalizing your content.
It's like having an AI assistant working behind the scenes, helping you create the best possible newsletter.
Exactly. And don't forget about community building. Engage with your readers on social media. Foster discussions. Create a space where people feel welcome to share their thoughts and ideas.
It's about creating that feeling of belonging, of being part of something bigger than just a newsletter. And that's something you can't automate. It takes genuine human connection.
Absolutely. And finally, be patient. Building a successful newsletter takes time and effort. Don't expect to become the Rundown overnight. Focus on delivering quality content, building relationships, and using AI to support those efforts.
It's like anything worthwhile, right? It takes passion, dedication, and a willingness to learn and adapt as you go. But the rewards can be amazing.
They really can, yeah. You get to connect with like-minded people, share your knowledge and passion, contribute to the conversation around AI. Who knows, maybe you'll even inspire the next generation of AI innovators.
That's a great point. Okay, so we've covered a lot here. We talked about how these AI newsletters are using AI to create awesome content, build thriving communities, and reach huge audiences. But I'm curious, what do you see as the bigger implications of all this? Is this just a passing trend, or is it something more profound?
I think it's definitely more than just a trend. I see it as a sign of how things are changing. The way we consume information is evolving so quickly, and AI is playing a central role in that.
Okay, so if this is the future of news and information, Where do you see it going from here? What's next for these AI newsletters?
Well, for one thing, I think we'll see even more personalization. AI will get better and better at understanding what individuals want and delivering content that's tailored to their specific interests.
So instead of getting a generic newsletter, you'll get one that's specifically curated for you, based on your interests, your reading habits, even your goals.
Exactly. It'll be like having your own personal AI curator, filtering through all the noise and delivering the most relevant stuff right to you.
Wow, that's incredible. And what about the community aspect? How do you see that evolving?
I think we'll see more interactive and immersive experiences. Imagine virtual events hosted within the newsletter, live Q&As with AI experts, even collaborative projects,
Yeah.
where subscribers can work together on AI challenges.
So it's like taking that sense of community we talked about and taking it to a whole new level. Okay, one last question before we move on. Do you think this AI-powered newsletter model could work in other fields besides AI?
That's a really interesting question. And I think the answer is yes, absolutely. Imagine personalized newsletters for things like finance, healthcare, education. The possibilities are really endless.
Okay, my mind is officially blown. This isn't just about AI newsletters. It's about the future of information itself.
It really is, yeah. And I, for one, am excited to see where it all goes.
So we've been spending all this time in the world of AI newsletters,
Right.
exploring how they're using AI to create amazing content, build these thriving communities, reach huge audiences. It's pretty clear this is more than just a fad at this point, right?
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that. I think what we're seeing is a pretty fundamental shift
Mm-hmm.
in how people consume and engage with information, especially when it comes to these specialized fields like AI.
Yeah, it makes total sense when you think about it. AI is moving so fast, traditional media just can't keep up. These newsletters offer that curated, in-depth perspective that you just wouldn't get anywhere else.
Exactly. They provide that really important bridge,
Yeah.
between the complexity of the AI world and the people who need to understand it. But it's not all perfect, of course. There are some potential downsides to this whole AI-driven content thing.
Oh, okay. Now you've got me curious. What kind of downsides are we talking about?
Well, one thing that comes to mind is information overload. Even with curated content, there's just so much AI news and research out there, it can be really overwhelming.
Right. You